Recording has started.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Anouska, and today I will be talking about costume and props for filmmaking. So, before we begin with today's class, I just wanted to ask you people, you all have watched movies, right? And there must be one movie or the other that you guys really enjoyed watching or is your favorite. So, out of all those, is there any movie that you can recall the prop or the costume of? Can you share with me any prop or any costume of a film that stayed with you? Or once you think about a particular movie, you can think of that prop or that prop comes to your mind. Is there anything that you would like to share with me before we begin the class? Any movie, any prop, any costume of any character coming to your mind?
Yes.
Please share.
Okay, so there's this Nigerian movie. It's called King of Boys, like a series, and then there is a throne in which whoever becomes the leader of the gang would, sit on that throne. And whenever I'm watching the series, my mind is always on the throne because that's like the
Yeah.
special thing in the room at that moment.
Yes. So if you guys have heard of Harry Potter, Harry Potter is a very famous, novel or movie that almost everybody has watched, I guess. So in the Harry Potter, there are those invisible cloaks, those magic wands, the Harry Potter, studio where they have shot it all. So all of those things make a film what it is, right? So costume and prop are the blood or the soul of a film, I would say. So, take any example of any film. If I ask you to remove all the props and if I ask you to imagine the characters in black and white outfits, okay, just imagine that whatever is your favorite film, the characters are just wearing black or plain white outfit and saying their dialogues or this doing the scene with the best of the acting skills that they possess. Okay, so it will be very monotonous and boring, right? So the props or the colors or the costumes are the things that are the topping to the pizza, I would say. If you're having a pizza and if your film is your pizza, then the story and everything makes the bread, the dough, and all of it. But the cheese and the extra spice is your costume and your props. How? How do we decide on the props? Why are they important? What are the advantages, disadvantages? Is all that I'm going to cover in today's class. So we'll now begin. Moving on to the next slide. First, let's talk about props. So what are props? Okay, props basically are stage properties or on camera properties that help us to make the scene more visually attractive and put our put out our story in a better and a more interesting way. Okay, so it could be like here, I have given the example of the glass shoe for Cinderella. So the props could be anything as basic as a shoe or for a magician, the wand, or for a crime scene, a gun or a knife. Or it could be anything as basic as a particular table or chair or a door. It could be any particular thing. Okay, but it impacts your film in a way that it stays with the audience long after your film is seen or watched. So what are the purpose of the props? First, it is the dress of the scene. Like I told you, the topping on the pizza, you say, or you call it the dress of the scene. It decorates your scene and makes it more appealing, visually appealing and interesting. Okay, breaks the monotony. It contributes to the look and feel of the scene. Okay, now a magician saying a dialogue without a wand would make it boring, right? If there is a crime scene and there is no crime weapon for doing the crime, it'll become very boring, right? You're agreeing with me? So that is why it is important to have props. It is going to contribute to your scene. It's going to help fill space appropriately. Okay, any blank space in your story that you cannot complete or things that you cannot say in a story verbally, it's going to help you put that using a prop. In a morning, you can describe a morning better using a cup of coffee or a window from which sunlight is coming up. If you have a dreamer, a person who dreams a lot, you can use something as simple as a dream catcher or a wind chime to show how they, how that character, you can develop that character in a more better way. So these are small things that brings your that brings more life to your story. The next is it helps to interpret the play. So when somebody is watching your story, it is very important for them to see or to understand what your character's nature or what your character is like. So the kind of things they are carrying with them, you can show somebody as very rich by showing them in a very luxurious car, or you can show, what are the state of that person, or you can describe a character better by showing them, uh, by using the props around them properly. The sunglasses they are wearing, the earrings they are wearing, any jewelry, any headgear, anything that can add on to your character's life. Okay. So, coming to the next point, it is going to contribute to the style and mood of the play. So again, what is the style of your story? What is the mood of the characters? What is the mood of your play is going to be described better with the props. It's going to add info about the character, like I mentioned just now, that is your character rich? Is your character, healthy? Is he, what is his nature? Is all going to be talked using your props. Next is it is the aid of an actor, and it helps actor in character, movement, and business. So it's going to help your story, it's going to help your characters, it is going to bring life to your story that you have written using pen, and you have penned down a story. It's just going to bring life to it and more dimensions to it and help you explain your story in a better way to the audience. The kind of medicines you are placing, the kind of, if there's a medical situation, the kind of even if it's you are shooting in a hospital, the kind of rooms you are showing, or the equipments that you're showing around the patient, the cloth that you are showing of the patient or of the people visiting the patient, of the doctors, each and every minute thing is going to add value to your script. So it is very, very important to choose your props very wisely. And while choosing it, you need to keep in mind that you should not overdo any prop. Like, there cannot be the same set of guns by used by the same set of criminals, right. Even in guns we have several varieties, in knives we have several varieties. So whatever we are choosing, we have to choose our props very wisely, and doing that we can add some beautiful dimensions to our story. That's the purpose of props. Coming to the next thing, what are the types of props? So firstly, the types could be an on-set prop or the furnishing prop. Like I said, it could be a particular kind of table, a particular kind of chair, some mattress, some kind of a particular bed with a white bed sheet, or a particular kind that you want to show. Like for example, right now you can see a white curtain behind me, right? So there is a reason I have placed the white curtain in my room. It will tell you about my personality. So whenever you meet a person, you in even in a normal life, in a normal situation, if I tell you, if I explain it to you, if you meet a person, if you visit them, so the kind of house they live in, the kind of ambience that they like around them tells a lot about the person, right? The kinds of clothes a person wears tells a lot about that person's character. So that's very important, and this is how you are going to build your story. Or while you are building your story, you need to very well understand what your character's ambience or surrounding is going to be like, what your character's nature is going to be like, how are you going to show or portray your audience or your character to the audience. Okay. So that is first are the on set properties, things that are kept on the set. It could be some kind of furniture, some kind of things which are not very frequently moved uh, and shifted. The next are the set of dressing. So this will basically constitute of all the clothes, of the headgears and all the jewelry, the accessories, and all those kinds of things that your actors are going to wear. Okay, it's going to be all the fancy plates, the pictures on the walls if you are showing a particular room. What kind of furnitures are you going to show? What kind of decor are you going to do on that place? If you are showing a dining table, what kind of plates, spoons, forks, or knives, or what kind of culture are you going to show on that table is going to tell a lot about the characters. Because again, all over the world, we all people have a different way of setting our dining tables. Here in India, we will set it in a different way. In Nigeria, you might be setting it in a different way, right? So we all have different weathers, different climates, different food consumptions, and we set our tables differently. So you, whenever you are writing a story, what region are you focusing on? What are you going to tell your audience about the character is going to, even the plates and spoons and the flower vase and the pictures on the wall are going to say a lot about your characters. So once you're filming, you need to keep an eye, or you need to be very careful of a detail as minute as your spoons and forks and plates. So, next are your hand props. Hand props, these are the items carried by and used by the actors in the course of stage direction or stage business. These includes things such as cell phones, an actor use a coffee mug or a journal in which they take notes. So again, hand props, which are handheld, like I said, that in a morning you can show a person having sipping on a cup of coffee. There could be somebody reading newspapers early in the morning. There could be someone using phones, and by the different person, like, see, when I tell you somebody reading newspaper early morning, you'll automatically imagine somebody of an elder age, right? Elder people tend to read newspapers every morning. And when I say you somebody checking their phone early morning, you will imagine a teenager, someone in their teens or in their 20s, because they are most likely to wake up and use their phones. When I say someone who wakes up and sips onto a cup of coffee, then you start on imagining a person who is more stable, and that person is more into mindfulness and self care, that person wakes up and directly goes on to a cup of coffee or sits with himself with his thoughts. So, like I said, these small things about props are very important. And as I am explaining you each small element of costume and props, I will keep on using such examples that can help you understand how these things impact a film, as we only have 2 hours together today. So please make sure that you listen to all the small elements attentively, because I hope it's going to really help you with your films. So coming next is the costume props. The costume props will include all the hats, eyeglasses, your wallets, your pocket watch, everything that the actor wears, the kind of necklace they are wearing, the kind of earrings, jewelry, everything that is on the actor's body, the shoes, the socks, or even the makeup. So it'll all come under costume props. These are the four major types of props. First was the set props or the furnishing props, then the set dressing. On the set dressing, we mean the dressing of the set. How is your set going to look? Next is your on hand props, things that the actor is holding in their hands. Could be a rose, could be a flower, could be a phone, could be a newspaper, a cup, anything. Next, and the last one, is the costume props. Okay, I hope this much is clear. So we'll move on to the next slide.
Any question so far?
Any questions? You can ask me.
Okay, I think it's clear so far. Let's
Yeah.
just move.
Okay. So next we'll come to some additional types of props. There are practical props, there are consumable props, and then there are rehearsal props. So very simple and very basic are the rehearsal props, something that the name itself explains. So the rehearsal props are the ones that you use while you are rehearsing for the story. So there could be a fight scene in the story, there could be a car accident scene in the story, there could be a particular scene which has to be shot in a particular way to give the impact. And if not rehearsed, you cannot directly go and shoot that scene in one take, right? So you need rehearsals. So you need props for that. For example, when we see historical movies of of soldiers fighting using swords and all, so those scenes are practiced using some wooden rods or wooden sticks before the shoot is done. Okay. And even for any particular shoot, we always do workshops and we always do rehearsals. And while rehearsing, we don't bring the original props that we are going to use for the shoot. We use some kind of a replica of the original product, and that is how we use and we shoot the film. So those props are called the rehearsal props. They are some kind of replica of the original prop. The next are the consumable props. Consumable props means, like I mentioned, rows or the food items. If you have a scene where there is a family having dinner together or lunch together, so they maybe are eating something, or you are showing a particular patient having certain kind of medicines, and again those are consumable products. Now again, if you take a reshoot of the scene, or you are taking a shot where two students are sitting and sharing a piece of chocolate, so even when they are sharing that piece of chocolate, there has to be time, there has to be sufficient chocolates for you to shoot the scene in 2 or 3 takes. Okay, you might not get the exact way of how you want them to consume the chocolate in the very first take. So those are consumable props that are going to be consumed or used while shooting, and we keep some quantities of them so that if we want retakes, we can use it. Okay. So next, so the first one, that was the practical props. So these are those props that the other categories have already listed, but these are those props that we use in the real world function. Okay, for example, like I said, handheld props, it could be a cell phone, or something that you are using to make your thing more practical, your story more practical, and bring out the story in a better way. Okay. So now we will learn about how are you going to acquire these props. So these are the props that you will be needing. You will be needing the costume props. You will be needing some costumes, some handheld props, something to dress your set and all. But how are you going to now acquire these props? These are the necessary props. How are you going to get them? So there are three ways to get a prop. First, you can build them. Second, you can buy them. And third, you can borrow them. These are the three B's of acquiring a prop. Usually, basically, the every filmmaker uses these three ways to get a prop. So, what is building a prop? Building a prop means you have a particular scene or a story in mind, and you know these are the props, these are going to be required for me to shoot the scene. So, you yourself get those props made or built using a team. So, for example, I have a story in which I need a particular kind of painting. So, I ask a painter to draw that painting for me, around which I am going to show a story or narrate a story. So then that is called building a prop. It could be anything as a painting, or anything as good as a weapon or a wand or anything. It could be any particular thing, but you have to get it made. So the advantages of building a prop is, the first one, it is one of the most easiest method for a story writer. If they know that they are going to get the props made, they can play around with the story in several ways, because now they can just write off about any kind of props. They are going to get it designed and made and customized as per the need. But whereas if you know that you are going to buy it, then you have restrictions as to if you are going to find that prop in that way or not. But when you are going to get it made, you have an open space. It's very easy. You can write the story in your own way and get the props made as you like it. Okay. The next one is the script is examined, the prop is sketched, and then the department builds it. Again, it is very simple. The writer has written it in the writer has written the story in whichever comfortable way he wanted, keeping all his what do I say? Keeping all his creativity, letting all his creativity flow in every way, and he writes that script. Then the script is examined and the props are sketched in the way the writer wanted the story to be like, the prop to be like, and then there is the required departments are called. If it's a painting, a painter is called. If it's some kind of sculpture, so different people are called to make the prop the way it is designed or written, and then it's made. Then these props meet the exact need of the show. Like I said, if the director wants the scene to have a particular kind of cup, if you are getting a cup made, you are going to give the director the exact cup that he's looking for. So here, when you're building a prop, you meet the exact need of the show. It's the only method available when you are doing fantasy or science fiction stories, right? So when you're doing a fantasy story, how can you expect the props to be available in the market? It's a fantasy, it's an imagination. So you will have to get the props made. And the same is for the science fiction. So, what are the disadvantages then of this method? First is it takes a great deal of time and expertise to build a certain prop. Like I said, if I want a certain painting, if I've imagined the painting in a certain way, explaining it to a painter, what kind of painting exactly am I imagining? What kind of shade of colors am I imagining in the picture is difficult. So, a director or a writer has thought something, has just imagined something, and conveying it to the other person and getting it made to that exact point is difficult. Okay. And sometimes it's very costly because, again, those high level of people with that high level of expertise who can understand your imagination and give you products of that worth are going to charge you a lot of money. So that is why at times it gets expensive for small filmmakers to get their props built in a way they have imagined. Okay. Coming to buying of props. When you buy the prop, it's a very fast method. You know that so and so prop is sold in so and so market, or you can do a research online. You can go and get that product, and you can just get that product in a day or two. It is not time consuming, it's very easy. You are not having to explain somebody. You just go and see out of all the options available and you get it, right? The Also, with the use of internet, there are several websites that sell props, or there are several websites from which you can go and look for your required prop and you can buy them. So again, it is one of the very fastest and again one of the most easiest way for the prop managers or the prop masters to get the props, because they can just go and they can just get the prop, right? But then what are the disadvantages? The disadvantages here is firstly that it might not be as per your expectations. You want a particular kind of table or chair. Yeah, there are a lot of tables available in the market, lot of stores selling different kinds of chairs, but you might not find that chair that you are exactly looking for, or that table that you are looking for in the manner that you're looking for. So then you might get disappointed because you might not find the exact one. And customization on bought products are difficult. Um, Suppose you have a hat and you want the hat to look a different way. So you can buy a hat and you can tie a ribbon, or a few customizations you can do here and there. But if it is a chair table or a chair or things that can get damaged if you are, if you are doing some kind of experiments with it, then you can just ruin your product. And it's not easy to get customizations done or when you are getting a bought product. Okay. So next we will come to borrowing a prop. So when you are borrowing a prop, so there are, what are the advantages? First advantage will of course be that there are several companies that gives prop for rent for shoot and all. So you can just browse through all the companies that gives prop for rent, and you can go to them with your requirement, and those companies are going to give you props for rent. They charge on weekly basis or on daily basis some amount, and whatever you are looking for, they are going to give it to you. You can use it, shoot with it, and then return it back to them. Okay, so they have websites again that can help you find your props. You can look for it online. You can meet the exact need of the show. Now these prop providers are people who work with production houses and who have experience in filmmaking. So if you go with a prop idea to them, even if they don't have that particular prop, they can customize it to some extent for you, or they can show you some options of it. And that is how you can get your required product at times. So yeah, so that is the thing. And what are the disadvantages then? When renting a props, you will have to provide the rental company with a proof of the insurance, so that the if the prop is damaged, they'll be able to replace it. So that becomes a challenge again for small filmmakers, that once you are renting a product, so then you will have to give them some kind of a proof of insurance for the product. So in case while using it for your shoot, if you damage it, they can take some kind of a replacement for it, right? So that gets one issue. The second is rental agreements usually prohibit the prop from being changed in any way. So you cannot play around with it, you cannot decorate it in any way, or you cannot, what do I say, you cannot customize it as per your need. So if you don't like the color or the prop or any other decoration, you just have to use it that way. When you purchase a product even, so then the product is yours. After you have purchased it, if you don't like certain part of the product, you can color it, or you can, remove it, or you can change it. But once it's on rent, then you have to return it back and you cannot play with it. The other challenges, like I said, is the cost. They charge you on a weekly or daily basis. So once the production house has taken something on rent, it becomes mandatory to complete the shoot in in that time span of the prop that they have, and because they are going to have to pay for every single day that they keep the prop. So that gets, sometimes it gets costly and it gets challenging for the filmmaker. So that was all that I had to talk about props. What are props? I told you. How can you get the props? What kinds of props do you need for a film? And why are they important? Right? I hope this much was clear and you could understand this. We will now move on to the costume part. Okay. So costume is what? Costume is basically the cloth that the actors or the people wear who are present on the screen, right? So that's called the costume. So when we think of a costume, like I mentioned a few minutes earlier, that what cloth somebody is wearing, what outfit are they wearing, what colors do they wear, what kind of jewelry they wear, what kind of accessories they wear, and their shoes and their nails, and every particular minute thing about a person speaks a lot about their personality. So costumes are the main thing, or the first thing that the audience notices about the character. If designed properly, that character can connect really well with the audience. If wrongly placed, that costume can mess up an entire beautiful story. Okay, if I am showing a person who is extremely emotional and is very stable minded, I will have to give him or her the colors that can suit the personality. If I'm showing someone who is very flashy, very, very shiny, very sparky, then I will have to give them some sequins clothes, some, some vibrant colors. So the colors and the texture of the cloth, the material, and every little thing again should go with the character, and the outfit, the appearance, and the costume is going to speak a lot about your character. And once you have written the character sketch, while you are writing it, and every scene wise, what kind of outfit or the costume does the director or the writer wants that character to wear is also thought of already. And getting those same kind of costumes is extremely important. Otherwise, the entire story will lose its impact and its focus and will not be able to connect to the audience. Okay, so here again, here is a small activity which you can do right now or you can do after the class. So you can select one item of your clothing or jewelry that you are wearing right now and describe how this item relates to you or your identity, right? So if you do this, you will be able to understand the importance of clothing and jewelry more. Just think
Can we
of
do this
yourself.
now? It sounds interesting. Can we do this
Yeah,
now?
yeah, you can do it now. So, if there is a particular cloth that you like to wear, and if you can tell me that, yeah, this is the cloth or this is the jewelry, and why do you think, or what do you think this particular item tells about your personality, then please share with me if any of you would like to do that.
Okay. Can we all turn on our cameras now so that I can start pointing what they are wearing and how it relates to them? Okay, so for me, basically, I think mine would be my gele. Okay, so what we call gele in Africa, in Nigeria, is like our scarf, like, so I tie my scarf normally, because it's like a brand identity for me. It's like a crown, you know. When you see the Africanness, African women, African culture, we are known to be flamboyant, we are known to be colorful. So our prints are also that colorful. I know that India also has stuff like that too. You're very colorful too. But the idea behind tying my gele most times is to show that elegance, that crown, that African womanness.
Yes, so even when I was planning for, this part, I thought even if Sandra doesn't speak, I will mention this about her. Even I have noticed her scarf a lot and the way that you wear it, and you call yourself the different woman, right? You are known as the different woman. So that makes you different, that makes you stand out because anytime that I see your picture or I see an interview or I see anything that says a lot about your personality, about how confident you are about yourself, or if I'm not wrong, right, Sandra, correct me if I'm wrong anywhere,
No,
but
you're very correct. I didn't know you noticed though.
no, yeah, I did because yeah, as a filmmaker, it's our job to, notice small things about a person that like I am talking about here, the costumes and the props, and even a mere eye contact or the way a person looks at the camera says a lot about the
Mm-hmm.
person. So even when I hear your interviews or anywhere that I see you wearing that scarf and it gives such positive vibes, such strong vibes about you that you're such a strong
Thank
lady.
you.
So that is what I was trying to say, that any of us, what kind of outfit we are wearing, what kind of jewelry that we wear, very simple or like simple. Like I am not a person very much fan of jewelries. You'll not see me wearing a lot of earrings and a lot of necklace and all. So that is me because I promote being pure and raw, and the way that you are, I always spread that message that you should accept yourself the way you are, and you like yourself just how you are. So I'll never wear a lot of makeup or a lot of jewelry until unless it's some kind of wedding or something that my mom is like, you need to dress up for. So that's different, but that says a lot about a person, and that is why costume is important. And I would like every student to give this a thought. And once you sit and you think that what kind of outfits are your friends or your relatives wearing, what kind of jewelry do they wear, what kind of ambience do they live in, once you start of kind of understanding this, then when you write your stories, you will be, it will give you a lot of help to design your characters. You will be able to write your characters and let those characters connect with the audience, because now the audience will have everything from their dialogues to their expressions to their clothes to their ambience and everything in a way that will go well with your story, and it will add more and more power to your scene that you are wanting to bring on screen, right? So now, what when you are designing an outfit, what all do you need to keep in mind? First is the material. Okay, what kind of material will your character wear? Are they very costly? Is it something very flashy, or is the material very expensive? Or, is it silk, or is it cotton, or is it what? It's going to tell about the even a material of the cloth is going to say from where is the character coming, what kind of background does the character have. It says a lot. So the material is very important. Again, for the color, like I mentioned again a while ago, that is the character very innocent, are they very flashy, are they very rich, are they from a mediocre family, what kind of family are they from, what's their nature, what kind are they, says a lot with the color that they wear. Like Sandra also mentioned that in Africa we wear colorful clothes, even here, and there are occasions or there are times when we wear black or there are times when we wear white. So those colors symbolize that particular occasion or that particular time. So the color is important. If somebody is wearing red, it says a different story about the person. If a person is wearing blue, it says a different story about the person. So we have to choose the color very wisely. Then the texture, like I said, is it going to be of a lot of sequence, a lot of work, a lot of designing, or it's going to be simple, basic, like here something, if I can say, if I'm wearing something with black with some kind of color split on it. So is it going to be that, or is it going to be having a lot of stoneworks and a lot of things on it? Everything again is very, very important. Next is the appearance. Is the person going to be very clean, very smart, wearing iron clothes, or is he going to be wearing dirty clothes? If we are showing someone who is, suppose we have a story where a person is in coma, okay, that person is in coma and he has a particular someone who is coming to see that person every single day for a few years. That person is not supposed to look very clean, very smart, very stylish, and not going to wear clothes properly ironed and in a very nice way. That person will be unkept. He will not have properly shaved beard. He will not have properly combed hair. He will be unkept because he has been visiting a hospital day and night. He has someone in the hospital who he is not sure if that person is ever going to wake up or not. So in that case, if we show a character who is very well dressed, entering the hospital wearing sunglasses, you can imagine that what difference is it going to make in those two aspects. So that is why it is very, very important to keep in mind what is going to be the appearance, the hair, beard, eyebrows, everything plays a very important role. Then the fit and cut. Uh, uh, what kind of, are they wearing loose fit clothes? Are they wearing proper tight fitted clothes? What are the kinds of cloth cutting are they wear? Are they wearing short clothes, fully covered clothes? Every small thing. Next is the movement constraint. Other costumes are too tight, might be restricting and preventing the actor from performing properly. So, we have stories, or you must have seen stories of the ancient times where they used to wear some kind of a gown which had ties in at the back. So they used to pull the strings very tightly and tie knots. So at those times, that is the kind of clothing they used to wear. Like in India, women wear a cloth called sari. You must have seen saris, right? So saris are worn in a different way, and different outfits are worn in different ways, and that can at times restrict the uh, actor's ability to perform, right? For example, when we wear a sari, there is no gap between the feet. It's joined and it's wrapped around the feet. The cloth is wrapped around the feet. So at times, if you are performing in a sari, if you're walking in a sari, you might have difficulties. So if in a scene, if you have a woman from, if you're showing a woman from India, and if you're showing them wear a sari and dance and perform, if you have such a scene, you will have to plan it very smartly, because that particular outfit, that particular costume is important for the character, or for the character's appearance. But that same outfit is important for the character's performance as well. You have to think about the audience's perspective, at the same time think about the actor's confidence and the actor's performance as well, right? Next is the adornment. So that I told you, the jewelry or the accessories, the kind of phone they are using. Is it an Apple iPhone, some expensive gadgets, or some expensive watch, or some gold rings or stuff that they are wearing, that is going to tell us what are their status, what are their wealth status or their family status. Uh, that is all going to be very, very important. So when you are making a character, if that, for example, your actor in real life owns an expensive gadget, and in your story he's playing a role of a very basic normal man, then you will have to tell your actor to, make, you'll have to keep this in mind, that on screen that actor cannot bring his gadget on screen. He'll have to leave it behind. So those mistakes cannot be made, and those things cannot come up on screen. Things as hair, wigs, makeup, masks, all kinds of headgear, and all the things from cars and everything that you show of a person is going to play an important role, and it's going to come under your costume design. Next, what are the advantages of costume designing? Okay, costumes are one of the many tools that the director uses to tell his story. Like I told you, the color, the texture, once you just with the kind of cloth or the kind of appearance you are giving to a character, you are giving life to that character using that. A director says a a thousand things about a character without speaking a single word, just by the costume or the props that he is giving to his character. Just by that, like I told you, just by merely the kind of hair a person has, beard, or the outfit, just by those small things. If I make someone wear a white coat with a stethoscope in their around their neck, you will understand it's a doctor. I don't even have to tell you, right? If I give a character some specs and give her some books and a pen, and make her wear something formal, you will understand that this person is a teacher. So so basic outfits, basic props can tell so much and help the director so much with his story. He need not use dialogues, or everything need not be spoken. Costume communicate the details of the character's personality to the audience and helps actor transform into a new and believable person on screen. Like I told you, your character is going to come alive on screen by what you make him or her wear. It's going to give them a new life. What you see me now, if I do a flashy makeup, if I cut my hair short, or maybe if I grow, if I have a wig, or if I have longer hairs, and if I wear a different set of clothes, you will see me very differently. Even for you watching this here, the kind of cloth that you wear or the kind of jewelry that you wear, if I just change it, and if I just give you my clothes, and if I just dress you like me, you will start looking like, and you will look like as if you are a very new and a very different person, right? So this is the thing. Costumes and props can change a person's dimension completely, making them relatable and believable, and the character that they actually are. Okay, or that the actor or the director or the writer wants the actor to be like on screen. Okay, so now there comes a very important question. Whenever we talk about costume designing, we get a question that is costume designing similar to fashion designing? Do fashion designers design costumes? What do you people think? What do you think? Is it true? Is costume designing and fashion designing same? Do any of you were you thinking the same question? Was it there in any of yours mind? Any of you who would like to share anything? Do you think costume designing and fashion designing are same thing? What do you think?
For me, I think they are not the same thing, but then they have overlapping functions. Like costume designers, we need fashion designers. So that means that though not all fashion designers are costume designers, so but a costume designer must have the knowledge of a fashion designer. So that means that they have an overlapping function.
Yeah. So, see, costume designing and fashion designing are two very, very different things. But yeah, just like you said, that costume designers can be fashion designers, but not every fashion designer can be costume designer. But to see in real life, there are some fashion designers who are costume designers and vice versa, but mostly the people who work as fashion designers work as fashion designers, people who work as costume designers work as costume designers. Those are two very different professions, and people not mostly match together. Why? Because fashion designing, when somebody is a fashion designer, they work under a particular label or a brand. Okay, they design clothes for that particular brand or for that label. So you must have heard some famous brands of clothes in India. Here we have Sabyasachi, we have Manish Malhotra, and we have certain brands which are very famous, and there are designers behind it. Like Sabyasachi is a director, is a designer, sorry, fashion designer, and Manish Malhotra also is a fashion designer, and on them are their names or the brands or the labels, Sabyasachi and Manish Malhotra. So we have more brands, international brands like Only, and there can be any brand that you, Adidas and all, if you have heard of them. So what the thing or the idea here is, fashion designers work for labels, they work for a particular brand, but costume designers work for scenes. They work for films and create costumes as per scripts, as per how the director wants a particular character to look like. So their aim is not to make any brand, or they are not aiming to make a particular cloth design for a particular brand and sell it at so and so price. That's not their aim. Their aim is to bring the story or the imagination of the director about a particular character on screen in a acceptable way, in a way that the character can connect well with the audience watching the film. Okay, so this is the major difference, the main difference behind between a fashion designer and a costume designer. The costume designer does research on every story. So first, the costume designer is going to sit with the director or the story writer, listen to the story, and understand the script very well. He or she is then going to sit with the director and understand what is the vision of the director regarding a particular character. Okay, are they going to show a grown up teenager as somebody who is mentally not grown, maybe a person he has grown by age, we are showing someone, suppose of my age, somebody who is 24, 25, and that person needs to act in a way that they are still in the brain of a 10-year-old kid. They have not developed mentally. Okay, so that person is not going to wear clothes or carry their clothes like a 25-year-old. So we have to make them dress up differently, give them cute colors, maybe in pink and all. And because that person is still in the mind of a kid, so that we can show that grown up person as a baby, as someone who is yet to grow completely, right? So that is why, now this is the work of the costume designer, to go research about how those people who have grown in age but not grown mentally, what kind of clothes do they wear. So they are going to go and meet those people and know about them and see their behavior and see the kind of colors they prefer, and the length they prefer, the material they prefer, every small thing. And then they are going to design outfits for the character accordingly. So they do on field research and all for one character, whereas fashion designers do fashion trend researches and stuff and create products that anybody, you, me, anybody can go and buy from that store and own. But costume designers don't design for you and me. He will design only for a particular director, for a particular set, for a particular actor. Okay. So I hope this is clear. We will now move ahead to the process of costume designing. I have already explained the process of costume designing while I was explaining this to you. But to explain it more precisely, once, like I said, very initially, first thing is a story writer writes a story. Even in this session, you have already learned about story writing, right? So if you have a story in mind, you know that, okay, for this story I need so and so person. It could be one male person running the entire story, could be one female telling her story, could be just one person, or could be more, whatever it is. You have the characters written down, but just the character or the name of that character is not going to be all. You are going to have to figure out what is the look and feel of that person that you are going to give. Okay. So now you start thinking about what kinds of accessories are they going to wear. Are they going to wear some rings, watches, earrings, jewelry, some kind of headgear? What kind of makeup are they going to do? Heavy, light, medium, what kind of clothes are they going to wear, what kind of shoes will they be wearing, what kind of pants are they going to be wearing, are they going to be of tight fit, loose fit, everything you need to decide. Okay. So as a writer, once you have written it, and once you are an independent filmmaker, like till now whatever I was explaining was about a team, that there is a director, there is a writer, there is a editor, different people doing different jobs. But as even I make films solo, I act on my films, I direct them myself, I write my own stories and do all of it by myself. So when you are a small filmmaker, when you are doing everything by yourself, then how do you go about with it? You write a story down first, and and just think, read that story and think what your character should look and feel like. How would that character look, so that you as a person would feel for that person, would connect with that person? If that person is sad, even it will bring tears to your eyes. So how does that person has to be? When we are reading a book, when we read any book, if you read novels, you will start imagining a character as you go by the pages, right? So why do we imagine the characters? We imagine the characters because there is a certain kind of feel that the story gives to us about the person. So we make an imaginary picture in our head regarding the person. That is what you have to do with your stories. Once you have decided that, you have to shift to the director's chair and start thinking in more depth about the audience, about the customer, about your audience and your character. Once you have thought about the character and your audience in depth, you will start understanding what kind of props you need to add. Because okay, the person is wearing so and so clothes, but how is that person behaving? Is he banging his head against a chair or a wall, or is he beating himself up with something? Is he throwing something out? Is he consuming some pills? Is he sipping into some coffee? Is he reading books? Is he teaching? Is he a doctor? Whatever that person is, there has to be certain kinds of props that is going to tell, again, more story about the character. So first you have decided about the look and feel, then you need to help or aid the uh, character by giving him something on his hand or something in the scenery, in the background, that is going to tell you more about the person. If for example, if you imagine me right now in a dark room, if I make it all black and there are red lights around in my room, you will have a very, what do I say, very creepy kind of feeling, very strange feeling as to why is it dark, why is it red. Whenever we show some kind of mystery, some kind of horror, we use dark colors, we make it very dark, the ambience is dark. And so that's the thing, your what kind of ambience is your character going to be in, what kind of things he's going to be holding in his hands, or what kind of things are going to lie around that person, is what you need to decide next, right, as a filmmaker. Once you have done both of it, then you will have to decide how are you going to get these props and costumes. Are you going to build them? Are you going to get those clothes stitched, or you are going to go to a tailor and get them designed in a particular way, or you are going to go to a market and buy those clothes from some store, or you have some friends or family members, or you have some websites from where you can rent those clothes for the shoot. So you will then have to find out these things. And once you have decided as to from where are you going to acquire those props and how much is what method costing you, you have to see that, you have to see your budget. And once that is done, then you can proceed and get them whenever your actors and your characters are ready. If you need some rehearsal props while you are doing some workshops or some training with your people, then at that point of time you need to get those things, you need to practice. And those, once the rehearsal props are used, you are ready for your shoot, then get the original props, shoot with them, and your film is ready after editing and all. So this is the basic way of getting props and costumes, and it's very, very important to choose the right costume. I have a task for all of you. What you have to do is you have to take a film, okay? Select any film of your choice and then find the answer to these questions. Once you find the answer to these questions, it will help you understand the costume and prop aspect of filmmaking. First, you will have to see who the main character of the film is. Okay? And what in the film is telling you about the location of the film. So the second question is, where does the film take place? What country are you understanding, or what area are you understanding by the ambience, or by the by the scene that you're watching? What are you understanding about the location of the film? You then have to describe the protagonist's style or type of costume at the beginning of the film. See what kind of cloth was the protagonist wearing when the film began, and then what kind of clothes are they wearing by the end of the film. Is it same? Is it different? If it's different, why did it change? Do the protagonist costume remain constant, or do they evolve throughout the film? Is it a story where we are showing evolution of a person, a change of a person? Are their costumes changing? Are they wearing same type of color and texture and costumes throughout the film? If no, why? If yes, why? You have to find this out. Then what do the costumes tell you about the world of the protagonist? Okay, so what are you understanding about the person from the clothes that they are wearing? That you have to find out. What do the costumes tell you about the experience of the protagonist throughout the film? Like I said, what when a person is wearing a certain kind of costume, we understand what kind of mindset do they have, what kind of background do they have. We understand it all just by the visuals of their cloth. So you can even, mute the film. You don't need to listen to the audio. Just look at the visuals and keep noting down what are the things that you can understand about that person, about the protagonist, and what is it telling you. Okay, these are the things that you might have ignored while watching a film. We focus more on the dialogues, we focus more on the scene, but this is very, very important. And last, what I want to focus on is why are these costume details important. Once you have answered all these things, once you have found the answer to all these questions, you will be able to understand why understanding these costumes was important. Okay, and once you do this, I can guarantee that from the next time, even in real life, when you meet people, when you meet different people in your life, you will, when you meet different people in life, you'll just observe them and you will be able to understand the person so well. When personally, when I meet people in my real life, when I meet somebody, when I talk to them, I can tell them about their nature, about what kind of person they are, what kind of mindset they have. I can communicate so well with them. And this happens that, people get so excited that, how do you know so much about me? And I'm like, yeah, because I have the habit of reading humans. So you can read people. If you, understand, how can you understand more about them? So this is the task that I have for you all. You can take a screenshot of this screen if you can see this. Take a screenshot of this, and or I will just send it in the group. So from here you can perform this task. Please do it, and I'm sure that this is going to help you understand more about costume and props. So that was all that I had for you guys today. If you have any questions, please ask me. Anything that you would like to ask?
Oh, thank you so much, Anouska. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Okay, so the screenshot you
Okay.
wanted to
So,
give us was for the the screenshot you wanted to give us was for the assignment, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we'll be expecting it. All right. Sahara, to take it away.
So, uh, is there any question?
I think Sahara had a question.
Yes, please ask.
okay. So I wanted to ask. It's about costume deck. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can
Hello.
hear.
All right.
Yes, I
Please.
can hear.
So I wanted to ask with costume designers, do they need to be on set to as in a particular scene? So if you design maybe, I'm just giving an example, maybe a bear costume for a particular actor, and then they are going to act out the scene in a particular location. Do you need to be there as a costume designer? Do they need to be there to make sure that the costume fits at that particular point in time and everything is going on well with regards to the costume the particular actor is wearing? Did you understand my question? Or I should go
Your
over?
voice, your
Hello.
voice got distorted, so I could not really get you. Your voice was getting slow, and um, was getting. I don't know.
Okay,
It was
okay,
getting
okay.
weak.
So let me go. My question, in short, my question is, as a costume designer, do they need to be on set at a particular scene to make sure their costume fits, the costume they designed fits the actor or the actress wearing it? That's my question.
Yeah, so mostly what happens in proper films, once a costume is designed before the shoot is done, they are tried. Okay, costume designers of course are present on set during the shoot, but it's not absolutely compulsory because at times the practice is done way beforehand. So the fit is checked and everything is done. Not on the day of shoot is the first time that the actors wear their costumes. They are made to wear this earlier to check the fits and all, because if the fit is not right, you cannot have the light people and the camera people and everyone, and tell them that the costume is not fitting, so we will shoot some other day. It does not happen that way. So your fit has to be right and everything has to be checked prior hand, and the costume designers are asked to be on set on the day of the shoot, so that if there is any mishap with the costume, if there is anything that goes wrong, as a costume designer, as someone who understands costume, can help fix it instantly and help with the shoot. Because on the shoot date, when a proper movie is being shot, on the shoot date there are a lot of people, a huge crew present. There are actors, there are directors, there are cameraman, light people, everyone, and all the props are there. Everything is purchased, everything is taking money. So on the shoot date, everything is already practiced beforehand and everything is already ready. So that's the that is what is done in real life.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. If any of you have any other questions, please ask. Please feel to ask. Any
Okay,
questions?
let me ask this question since
Yes.
we are all shying away from it. So a lot of
Yes.
us are still starting. We're still starting, budding filmmakers and the rest. And we might not have the budget right now to hire a costume designer or someone that would sew custom made clothing for our actors, or where do we start from? How do we costume our plays? You know that a lot of us have already written some scripts. So,
Yes.
although we talked about it today and said we should try to limit our characters, but since we are just starting and we are even shooting with our mobile devices and the rest, we might not be able to afford a professional right now to sew all those, get us all those big jewelries and the rest. How do we go about costuming our plays to look professional and enticing to watch?
Yes. So, like I told you about this, what I personally do, even I am a solo filmmaker, I'm a student, I'm also studying and working side by side. I'm a professional, but also a student. So, how do we do it? I also make films using my phone and, basic cameras. So, what do I do? So, first thing, what you do is, uh, you have an actor who is acting, and you have a certain mindset of clothes that you need to wear. Here, particularly in India, like in India, we have places from where we can take clothes for rent. For rent, I mean they charge you something as less as just 50 rupees. Okay, in Indian currency, 50 rupees is very less, so it's very minimum cost. For example, if you are dressing someone as a doctor, you need the stethoscope, you need the coat, and those things you will have to get for rent, right? So if your character has such things, if you are shooting something where you need guns, or you need certain equipments that need to look like a real gun, we cannot use something very fake. So then we have places from where we can get them for rent, or we can ask someone to help us with some products for our shoot, and in return we also, it's called barter collaboration, or those kinds of things can be done where we advertise their agency, their rent agency, from where they provide rent and all. We can do that, and in return they provide us with the um, products. So one is this: if you want to get them for free, you can request people that we are new filmmakers, help us with the products. In return we are going to promote your business. So that is one thing that's done. Second is, there are people who are giving them for very less rates. The third is, if the costumes are very basic. For example, like I said, for example, Sandra has some kinds of a beautiful scarf collection. I am in connection with her. I know her online. So in that case, I have written about a character who has a beautiful, who is an African or wears such outfits. So then maybe I can contact Sandra. That Sandra, I want to borrow this from you. Like I said, borrowing is another way apart from this. So borrowing is the one thing that small filmmakers mostly focus on. We go to our friends, our relatives, if they have a particular kind of outfit that we are looking for, if they have the nature, like I was saying now, that the character needs to have a particular character, right? The like, are they very flashy, are they very innocent? So maybe I am writing about a character who's very flashy, wears vibrant colors, and I have a relative who is of the same kind, and that person has that outfits that I can maybe stitch a little bit and give it to my character, and that person can wear it for one shoot. So we can then ask our relatives and friends that, please, can I borrow this cloth of yours for one shoot? And mostly they give it to us. So yeah, and at the end of the film or somewhere in the film, we give those people credits who have helped us shoot the film. So we give them costume credits and all, which make them feel happy. So they also have some interest in helping you with the outfits. So this is how you can do. You can ask your friends, your relatives to help you with the costumes, or you have some old costumes. One thing that I also do is, for example, I have some old costumes at home that I don't wear. Okay, old clothes, and those clothes I can stitch in some way, or I can, drape some kind of a different cloth around it and design it myself. When you are a solo filmmaker, like I said, uh, in every aspect, for your lighting, for your shooting, everything, you have to use yourself and your brain smartly and get the work done, because there is not going to be people you can pay and get your things done. So you just have to use this very smartly, very differently, and get all of that done. And you just have to use your creativity in ways that you can bring your character into more life using what's around you. So if you look around, you will see different kinds of things available around you, with your neighbors, with people very close to you, or people you know online, some co-creators or other people. Ask for help and DM them, message them, somehow connect with them, and I'm sure they are going to help you. So this is how all small filmmakers make their stories and bring their stories on screen, by just asking for help.
Wow, thank you so much. So if
um,
I was thinking about writing, like, okay, part of the props that we have now, you talked about gun, and what if I want to do like a gun story, like gun violence or something? How do I get a gun? Or probably I want to do like I'm in Africa now. I know that we don't really have samurais here, but somehow I just have this big story in my head that I want to create samurais, African samurais. And I cannot get swords, from my neighbors. I can't get swords from because they don't have them. How do I bring this story to life? Is it realistic?
yes, so see, again, for swords and all, um, in here in India, in school and colleges, so we used to have some plays, right, or on stage plays and drama. So there, what we used to do when we didn't have a sword, we used to have cardboards cut out, and you don't always need a real sword to show on screen. You can use foil papers and different, even like I said, we have YouTube now, we have different platforms, we even have an OMIF YouTube channel, right? So we have people watching YouTube. If you go on YouTube and search how can you make realistic swords on home, you will find videos. Right, we have the internet, we have the power of internet right now. How we connected, how today I am here, sharing whatever little knowledge I have with you people, is because of the internet. So with the help of internet, if you need guns, if you need like for guns and all, I said that it's not possible to get it from your neighbors and all, I mentioned that then you will have to look for some place that you can get those products on rent. You cannot make a doctor's stethoscope at home. You can, there are things that you of course cannot make, so then you will have to go to people who work on films, or people who give these props on rent for shoots on a regular basis. Those people have these things, and for a very minimal charge, they give these products to you. So then you'll have to use it that way. Or then, like, one more thing that you can do is you can play the story so smartly that even for stethoscope, I know people who have used some kind of black, pipes and different things to very intelligently make the stethoscope very realistic by using the least of cost, or by using things that are actually lying around in the house. You will not, all these prop makers, all these prop masters, what they do is smart work. Okay, they very smartly use things around them and craft it in a way, or they are going to hide things behind the hair, or they're going to play this so smartly that you are not going to understand that it was made in such ways. First thing. And second thing that I told you, that there are a lot of things that can be done on editing table. Okay, you can hold a basic rod with a green cloth wrapped around it. You can do the green screening thing, and you can make that prop sword. There are a lot of things again that can be done on the edit table also. So I don't know if your editing class is done, but when you learn about editing, then also you will learn various tricks of how you can play with the props. So even there you can play smartly. But apart from that, if you want things in reality to hold them, then uh, you will have to try ideas, look for it online, go on YouTube, go on Google, and type those things and try to find out how are the world, everybody um, has some idea to share on the internet. They are sharing it. Just go find it out, and you will find all the answers there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anuska. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. Thank
Most
you.
welcome.
So, anybody has a question again, please use the opportunity to ask questions. You've already written some scripts, and on Friday, you'll be pitching your stories. So costume and props are the things we will see on your screen. We will not be seeing the director, we will not be seeing the producer. We'll be seeing your costumes, your actors, your props. So ask your questions now. Everything will be seen on screen. This is where you need to discuss it now. All right. So if you have any questions, Grace Oseka, you're still here. Terry, I can see you. Arafat, Mercy, Sahara 2. Do you still have questions, or should we call it a day?
If there's anything,
Hello. Okay, so I don't know who my question is directed to. I want to direct it to Sandra. You said we'll be pitching, and then costume and props will be part of it. For me personally, I've not um should I say visualize the kind of costume I want the person who will play out my character to wear. I'm thinking, okay, not anything per se, but a normal dress would be. But should I still go ahead and then write something, visualize something, and then write it so that that day it could be different entirely?
Okay, so I'm going to hand over costume chat to Anuska. Anuska, you didn't talk about costume chat so that they would know that a lot of them are writing scripts now. And as you can hear, one person has not even thought about the costume her actors are going to wear, but she already has a film in her head. Okay, so talking about your pitching, Sarah, talking about pitching, what you're pitching on Friday, you're not pitching your costumes, you're pitching your story. Okay, you're pitching your story, the film you'll be shooting. So you'll be pitching on Friday to get a mentor from amongst our facilitators. Those people, the ones you have listened to so far, even Anuska will be on the panel on Friday. So every one of us, every one of the participants will come and pitch their story. So a mentor that likes your story will pick your story and work with you till you complete it. Because remember, we have a prize for the best filmmaker from this workshop. So instantly the very first and most beautiful film instantly gets accepted into AWMIFF. AWMIFF is a festival for women. We promote female-centric stories. So you instantly get um, entry into the festival. The festival is happening in November. So for the remaining 9 coming up, hopefully you get 50% discount because this year we're charging $10 on our ticketing. So you instantly get 50% on your ticket. So for those 9 that qualify as well, but the instant one that is good, you know, when you're done with your production, we all get to watch it. All your facilitators, we are all judges, we'll get to watch it. We are not spending this time with you to just teach you and let you go now. We want to see what you're able to create. Do you understand? So you'll be pitching to us your story on Friday. Any one of us that like your story, if we like you enough, we work with you till you complete your story, and then enter for the festival. Of course, the festival gives you exposure to people from across the world. Last year, we had over 400 submissions from about 54 countries, and we screened 140 46 films last year. So imagine you getting exposure, that much exposure on your film. Do you understand? So that's what we are doing for you now. All right, so Anouska, over to you. Talk about costume chat.
Yeah. So, what her question was, I guess, is that she is not somebody who's visualizing the characters' costumes much, and she wants to keep it simple. So, can she go about with that? Is that your question, if I'm right?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. So, see, I will tell you that all the films that became big, all the characters that you remember, for example, if you know of Spider-Man, Spider-Man wears a certain costume. The Spider-Man wears a certain costume, Batman wears a certain costume, Iron Man wears a certain costume. If I come to romantic films, if I come to films like Twilight, if I come to films like Harry Potter, if I come to any iconic film, the costume and the props play a very important role. It stays with the audience, it stays, and the people who watch your film want to dress up like the character. They relate so much with the character through their acting and through their feel that they would like to wear such things. Like I talked even about Sandra, when you see Sandra, people who are inspired by her or people who see the strength in her maybe would like to tie a scarf around like she does so elegantly, right? So any character that you see, once you fall in love with that character, once you find inspiration with that character, once you know so a movie is there to tell a story and to inspire and to touch the hearts of the audience. And while doing so, you should try to use your costume and your props intelligently, because that's a something that will add on to your story. If you avoid it, it's fine, you will still be saying a story. Like I told you, if today I'm wearing this costume and I have this hair and I'm talking to you, there is a certain way you are feeling about me, or there is a certain way you will relate to me like. But suppose if I wear an African outfit and if I come to you in a way, in an African traditional way, you will see me in a different light. Whereas if I wear something, if I wear something very flashy, or if I wear today, if I would be sitting here wearing a lot of work and doing a heavy makeup and making a hair onto a bun or something, then you would have perceived me very differently. So, how we connect, what you think about me, what you feel about me when you're hearing me, when you're listening to me. So, if I am here, suppose this is a film that you're watching on your screen, so you are just hearing somebody talk. Are you going to connect with that person, or are you going to feel lost, or what is going to be your take on it is going to depend a lot by what that person wears or what that person looks and feels like. So try to visualize it. It is not that difficult. Like I said, watch a few films that you love. Not any random film. Watch your favorite films and try to understand, why is that film your favorite? Why could you connect with that character so well? What was there in that character? What is that character wearing? Do you feel like wearing those things that the character is wearing? Any jewelry, any accessory, any outfit? Or you want to keep a hairstyle like that of the character? If yes, why? What was so appealing about that outfit? What was so appealing about that look? Yeah, so that's very, very important. So I would really request you to do that, because in that way it will not just help you while creating films, like I said, it will help you even in your real life. You will be more visually aware, and whenever you are seeing something, you will be able to understand it more deeply. In depth, you will be able to connect with people around you, feel them, feel what they are feeling, and you will become a better person overall too. So it's a beautiful experience. Please try doing it. And yeah, you have nothing to lose, only everything to win. So why not?
Okay, so just a
Okay,
little
thank you.
contribution to what you said, Anushka. So down here in Africa, and I understand that some of our stories might not be so flamboyant. So, for instance, if I wanted to portray a mechanic by the roadside, probably the person is just wearing a basic short. If it's a guy, maybe he's just wearing one torn short and the rest. So I'm thinking that's why we are not really thinking too much about it. If we are having like basic stories that have characters that just look like us. Okay, so even with that, even with having basic stories, one of the things I try to do in my productions as well is color. Color is very important in in projecting feeling. I heard Anuska talk about this when she talks about the light of the scene and the rest. So even the color, for instance, there is this film La La Land. La La Land won a lot of awards, especially because of the scenery and costume. So each of those characters, it's not like they wore anything out of the ordinary. They wore gowns, guys were wearing trousers and shirts with suspenders and papa's cap, But how do you feel when you see them on screen? So you're seeing a yellow gown on this person, and then they are matching a yellow gown to the guy's blue shirt. So it pops on screen for you. Do you understand? So you're not just watching people wearing gowns and trousers and shirts, but you're watching people wearing yellow gown, blue shirt, brown trousers. You're watching if they are on a dining table, for example, and they are all ladies and they are laughing, they are happy, then you should be seeing happy colors: pink, red, yellow, blue. Those are the colors you want to see to say that, okay, these ladies are not hostile towards each other. They are looking happy. Do you understand? If you're going to be showing a keke driver, for instance, yes, I know that we don't really take keke very seriously. Okay, so keke is tricycle. Keke is tricycle down here. So if you're seeing a keke driver, for example, and you're thinking, hey, okay, I don't really need to costume my keke driver now. But no. What about the location? Where is the keke driver driving? A keke driver in Lagos is different from a keke driver in Abuja. Do you understand? Location also matters. So you can change your keke driver. For example, if you're doing a keke driver in Lagos, the keke driver in Lagos might be wearing papa's cap. But down here in Abuja, the keke driver might decide to wear this Hausa cap. Those little things are very important. So you need to think about it. Okay, so for Sarah, to you in Ghana, right? So I know some of these things might not be so different from what you would have over there. So look around you, even though they are basic. Think about the color, think about the location. How does the person in that location, for example, if it's a mechanic and the mechanic is not so rich, of course, even if you're giving the person a shot, the shot must be torn, the shot must be dirty. You don't go and get, to show that, okay, this person works. So even if you're giving the person a shot, doesn't mean that the shot must be clean. You don't go and buy a new shot from the market and say, okay, you have to wear, because you want to show that, okay, this person has been wearing it. So age will show on that shot. So go and ruffle the shot up, cut it in bits, make it look torn and tattered and whatever. Those are the things, the elements that make costume real or fake. These are the things we want to see on screen. Do you understand? All right, so I just thought to chip that in. And also, when I'm doing my productions, I also create a costume chart, just the way you created your short list for every scene. So what is your character wearing now? Will the character wear this thing for the next 16 years if the person will grow? Do you understand? So will the person wear it tomorrow? Will the person wear it next tomorrow? So if we watch some of our skits, most of our skit actors, they don't change their costume because they want you to know them. That's like their signature, their brand. Do you understand? So immediately you see Mr. Macaroni, what are you seeing? You are just seeing this agbada, you know.
The
Sorry,
cap.
Anushka. Hey. So Mr. Macaroni is like a comedian down here, so he has a particular look. When you see Brashagi, when you see Taoma, what do you see? They have a particular look. Do you understand? So if you're creating characters like that, that will probably a drunkard that doesn't have time to shave, take their bath or something. Of course, that character might not always change clothes, like a psychedelic lady that works, goes to the office and stuff. These are some of the things you should put into consideration when creating your characters and your costume as well. So it's very important. The same way you created your short list, please go and create a costume chart. It is important. Look at the scene by scene. What is your character wearing here? Why is the character wearing it here? Where is this character located right now? Do they wear this kind of thing there? For example, you're not going to carry a mini skirt and a crop top to go and costume somebody in Kaduna or Sokoto. Hey, they will chase you away. Okay, so the reason I'm saying Sokoto and Kaduna, these are Islamic states. So you are not expected to wear a crop top and mini skirt there. So these are some of the relative things that we should consider when costuming. Okay, so be realistic in your costuming. Think about it. It is as important as every other thing you have learned so far. Costume and your props, very, very important. So if you cannot buy them, just like Anuska was saying, borrow them. Oh, go and borrow. Or like what she mentioned, endorsement, like some of these people around us now, we have Instagram, right? There are a lot of Instagram stores online that are looking for exposure. They are looking for influencers. As a filmmaker, you're already an influencer. Chat all these small shops up. Tell them that, hey, come and costume my character.
We can't hear Sandra. Can you?
We can't.
Uh, I guess some kind of network issue. Can you all hear Sandra? Hello?
We can't hear.
Can't hear?
Yes.
Yeah, I think probably her network is off or
Yeah,
something.
I guess.
Okay, she's back now. She's back.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I think it's the network down here. Okay, so I hope I was communicating. So,
Yeah.
as a filmmaker, you're an influencer. Please go out there, chat all these small Instagram pages up. Please come and give my actor a earring. At the end of the day, I'll write your name on the film and say, hey, you're the one that gave my actor the earring. Please come and tie my actor gilly. I'm going to tell them that you're the one that did it. Okay, so for the credit, for the mention, most people might. The last project I did recently, I chatted a lot of all these wig sellers. We have a lot of people that sell wigs, down here. So I chatted them up and I told them to come and give, because I created a character that is a no nonsense character, very psychedelic and the rest, and the character has to change wig every time. So personally, we have one particular kind of wig that is trending in Nigeria right now, bone straight. You understand? So in my closet, I don't have bone straight. I won't go and use a plot of land, at least for now. By God's grace, I'm not going to use a plot of land to, wear on my head. So I chatted these people up and I'm like, bone straight. Please come and give my actor bone straight. Do you understand? Someone that can change bone straight every day. eh, a particular saloon took it upon themselves to do that. So if you have good rapport with this kind of people, if your presentation is good, they might listen to you. So please reach out to those kind of people. Then for costume, lastly, this is what I'm going to say lastly. Um, when you're done creating your costume chart and you have your actors down, discuss your costume with them. You'll be surprised that your actors also have the costume that you are looking for. For example, I created like the character I was just telling you guys about. I was looking for a lady that is flashy, very beautiful. She changes her clothes and this. So at first I was like, hey, will I get this kind of person around me? Do you get? But by the time I talked to this particular the character, the actor that finally played my that character, like she was like, hey, don't worry, don't say it anymore. Do you know? I didn't know she was a fashion designer herself, and then I gave her date. I was like, our shoot is like 2 months away. And she said, no worry, leave it to me. And then she went ahead. She just fell in love with that character and she went ahead and she sourced that costume herself. So what you need to do is create your costume chart, discuss with, your actors and see what they have, what can be changed, what can be gotten, and make it realistic. The most important thing is that fall in love with, already see it in your head. If you can see it in your mind, of course you can create it. Okay, but if you tell us, like Saratu is saying right now, she has not even thought about it. Hey, I'm disappointed, do. All right, so Anuska, I'm handing over to you to close tonight. So anybody has a
Please, I
question
have
or,
something to say.
all right, please.
Okay, so don't be disappointed. I was just trying to, how should I? Okay, I have limited resources and I'm trying to make do with what I have. And even like I told you earlier, the actor I want to use, she's even not ready yet, so I have to convince her and all of that. So it's today's class I've been made to realize that I can actually look into my closet, maybe things that I'm not wearing now. I can maybe redesign them or add some finishing touches, or I could actually borrow some of these costumes. But earlier I didn't really think much of
Okay.
that, so I was like, okay, due to the limited resources that I have, why not just film in the attire my the person who would act out my character would bring, and then we will just make do with that. You see, that's why I said I've not actually
Mm,
visualized or talked about what I want to use to suit the costume I want to use to suit my movie or something like that. So
okay.
please don't be disappointed. Yeah, still on the learning journey. So I'm
Yes,
just
definitely.
hoping to make a better movie at the end of this program.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why this
Thank you.
class
absolutely.
is very important.
Yeah, even I feel that there's nothing to be disappointed. It's really nice that you had your questions, and just as Sandra said, that just as I was trying to explain the same thing, that you have things around you, and I always say this in my class, or when you are making a film, okay, and as a solo filmmaker, just know that it's not going to be easy, but all the effort is going to be worth it. So just believe in yourself. Just tell yourself that, you know what, everything is achievable. Believe me, when I have made films, we have shot in hospitals. I wrote a story where the protagonist was a patient and we needed a hospital to shoot it. And initially, just like you, I was thinking that why would any hospital let me shoot and give me all the equipments? They maybe, if I go to a hospital, maybe they'll charge me a lot of money, and I don't have that kind of money right now. Maybe I'll not be able to shoot the film. But you know what, I took the step. I went to to a few hospitals and I told them that I have a story in my mind. I want to shoot it. In return, I will give them credits and thanks to the doctor and to the hospital, just like Sandra mentioned. So you can go to people and request them that, you know what, I just want to shoot for a few hours. Can you give this to me? And you can ask for help. That I again I mentioned, and I'll again emphasize that as a solo filmmaker, go out, ask for help, because as a community As an online community, we all grow together, today that I am here sitting with you all, you people are, believing in me, you people are listening to what I have to say, or we all together are discussing about, it's more than a class, it's a discussion, right? We are all discussing and sharing what all thoughts we have. If any of us have a doubt, we are talking together. So this discussion that we have is what, it's a change of thoughts and change of knowledge, which is going to benefit all of us someday or the other. And people are ready to help you for free. Not always can you buy things for money. There is a saying that money can buy everything and happiness. So yeah, just go around, ask people, tell them that please let me know how can I help you, because I would need the small favor from you. Ask people around you, and most, unexpected people, you might not be expecting a certain person to help you with something, but they very magically will do it when you believe that you are going to get it. First you'll have to believe that, okay, I'm going to convince people, I am going to, request people, go out with a smile and, tell people that, can you help me with this please? Request a few people. Yes, you will hear no's. Again, this is also something I'll tell you, that no, not always that we go and ask somebody to help, somebody to shoot for us, somebody to help us with an outfit or a costume. Not always are they going to say yes, but again, not always are you going to hear a no. There are going to be times you're going to hear yes, and always know that something that you didn't ask for, you already received a no, right? If today your doubts, you would not have asked us of any questions that were there in your mind, you would have never got an answer. So you asked, that's why you have your answers. So in life, go ask your questions, ask your doubts, and always ask for help. And you will surely get everything that you're looking for. Everything that you're looking for is there, it's around you. Just go find it, and everything is possible, everything will be done. And like Sandra said, yes, not always you have to buy expensive outfits or invest a lot. You can have basic characters wearing very basic clothes. Just you can take an old pair of your shorts and give it to your actor to wear, and you can just tear it up from here and there. Or if it's a male character, you are a female, take some of your dad's clothes, your parents, your brother's clothes, anybody from your family or relative that you have, and any old cloth that they have that maybe they'll be throwing away or they'll not be using anymore, so request them or take that. Figure something out. You are wonderful, you are amazing, we all are in some way or the other. So just know that and go, and you'll just find everything. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate your
Most
input.
welcome. If any of you have any questions, anything else that you would like to ask, please feel free. Ask anything. And if any other question comes to your mind, even later, even after the class, even then you can ask. I'm always open to answering any doubts. So, yeah, I'm always there. You can ask me.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Always a pleasure. Anything else? Anybody? Sandra is not here, I guess, for um,
Yes, she's not here, but we're supposed to end this session. So let us just join out together and tell our facilitator thank you for our time. We really appreciate. We've learned a lot. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
yeah, you all too have a nice evening. Have great time making your films. May all of you make amazing films. Thank you so much for listening to me and for joining today. Thank you all. So I hope you don't have any further questions. We'll then end the session now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all had a great time with me. Uh, thank you.
Yeah, we did. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh, okay. I am back. Pardon me. I had network issues.
Sandra, are you here?
Okay, I am back. Pardon me. I had network issues. All
Yeah,
right.
no
So,
problem. We understood. So that's why we just there were no further questions. So
okay.
we ended the session. But as I saw you were back, so I also joined in to say a
Okay.
final bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Anouska. Thank you. The time frame, the timing for our pitch on Friday will be posted on our WhatsApp group so we can prepare
Sure.
ahead. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. Have a great
Most
night. Remember
welcome.
to
Good night.
review your facilitator and also review the day. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.